Well, in the 1952 edition of the Green Book, about 11 places are listed in the Sacramento area, and that includes the historic Dunlap's Dining Room right here in Oak Park. Now, even though the Black-owned restaurant has been closed for years, it's still remembered for its fine dining and exceptional service.
Cooking is a passion of mine. I just love it.
Matthew Burgess, who lives in Sacramento, has been cooking since he was 6 years old.
I spent so much time in the kitchen with Mom and really to hone down those skills where there weren't recipes that were used. It was look, taste, and texture.
His late mother, Bernice P. Burgess, taught him how to make special dishes, including pie crust from scratch. Burgess says his mother learned how to perfect homemade pie crust while working as a server at the historic Dunlap's Dining Room in Oak Park.
My mom, she was about 15 to 16 years old when she started working for Mr. and Miss Dunlap. She was allowed in the kitchen, she told me one time, and she learned a lot during that time where she was able to actually watch Miss Dunlap make pie crust. She'd always say Mr. and Mrs. Dunlap, and they ran a tight ship, and it was one of her first jobs that she had, and she was proud of it.
You were expected to wear a suit and a tie if you were going to show up at Dunlap's.
Black entrepreneur George T. Dunlap owned and operated the fine dining establishment from 1930 to 1968.
George's first restaurant was opened in 1916 on J Street. It only lasted a couple of years, and for a while he had a restaurant in a hotel. But it was actually his wife, Louise, who inspired their final restaurant location. He had daughters who needed some work. It was during the Depression and jobs were hard to find. So he said, let's just open a restaurant in our own home and call it Dunlap's Dining Room.
For 38 years, Dunlap's Dining Room attracted distinguished families, social clubs, organizations, government officials, and many others. And guests always knew exactly what to get.
They didn't have a menu because they only had three choices, were T-bone steak, chicken, fried or smothered, or ham. And a variety of desserts.
The restaurant served Black people, but primarily catered to middle-class whites.
The African-American population in Sacramento County when he opened in 1930 was 1% of the county. So it was very much a small community that didn't have enough economic power to support a Black restaurant with principally Black patrons. But he also made an effort to support the African-American community.
When I think of my mom actually being allowed in the kitchen to learn and then also here to serve, I think it's amazing just for the Dunlaps to be able to provide opportunities back then. My mom having the ability to learn from Miss Dunlap brings a sense of how our people were able to connect the recipes and through the love of something that they enjoyed. She did that with me and at a very young age, and so I look at it and I've done the same thing with my son. And one thing Mom never did, she didn't use a recipe.
The Dunlap family home is still standing in Oak Park, and in 1992, it was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. For many older Sacramentans, the house is a reminder of Black history, culture, and traditions.
The story of the Dunlap family and Dunlap's Dining Room matter for the history of Sacramento. Black history is American history. Black history is also Sacramento history, and a lot of the key moments in this city's history reflect the African American experience.
The Dunlap home is now operating as an Airbnb space open to the public.
The home of a significant member of the community with a story to tell is really appealing for tourists and visitors to come to a place and learn about the story of an amazing local.
When I first walked in, because this is the first time I actually been inside this home, and I just had this feeling of, wow, it's a feeling of connecting with the ancestors. A feeling of warmth, a feeling of gratitude, a feeling of like, this is amazing to just be sitting right here and that this home is still standing.
Wow, the home is still standing. Well, inspired by the Dunlaps and his own family history, well, Matthew Burgess is sharing his love for food with others too. He, along with his twin brother, Jonathan Burgess, own Burgess Brothers Barbecue. Well, it's the local food and beverage company with family recipes and culinary knowledge, get this, that can be traced all the way back to 1850.